breaking news from CBS 17 News.
Crime scene tape, blood, and holiday decorations. Now at 11, Crabtree Valley Mall evacuated tonight after shots were fired inside the mall. We have live team coverage tonight, and we start with our Amy Cutler. Amy.
A chaotic and terrifying scene playing out here behind us at Crabtree Valley Mall. At this hour, you can see that there are fewer police cars, but we want to go right to some video that we shot about an hour and a half ago where it was a much more active scene. Raleigh police responding in force, investigating after shots were fired just before 9 o'clock tonight. I spoke with some customers and employees at these businesses. They say people just took off running. Some of the employees and shoppers went to hide in the back of some stores, unsure what was playing out, concerned it could be an active shooter situation. Fortunately, Raleigh police stressing tonight that is not the case. Now we want to take you to some photos from inside the mall, which has been evacuated. Stores locked down with customers inside. Crime scene tape up in certain areas of the mall as Raleigh police investigate. And I had the chance to speak with an employee about what he heard and saw. Take a listen to what he said.
I was trying to make sure everyone in the store was safe as well, because I didn't want nobody else in the store to feel like they were going to get shot or injured. So we had to close down the store, just make sure everyone else is in the back. We had took them to the stock room. We tried to calm down the customers, make sure they felt safe, not endangered. So we talked to them a little bit.
Now keep in mind, this is during the busy holiday Christmas shopping. That employee telling me this was one of the busiest days he's seen so far, even on a Thursday night. Now I also want to mention, despite the evacuations, I was able to walk right into the mall tonight. I was asked to leave soon after walking around, but certainly a very chaotic, terrifying scene unfolding. We're going to continue to follow this closely, but for now, I'm live outside Crabtree Valley Mall. Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
All right, Amy, thank you. Now, the Raleigh Police Department has been tweeting this evening and just moments ago tweeted this out. No injuries are reported at this time. The investigation at this point indicates that the parties involved are known to one another. So hopefully we'll get more information from them coming up soon. Now, as we mentioned, we do have live team coverage tonight. CBS 17's Nick Sturdivant also at Crabtree Valley Mall. And Nick, what can you tell us?
Well, Angela, we're right outside of the Macy's. At least from our vantage point, there's not a big police presence. We did notice a couple of officers here in the Macy's parking lot. And one thing that we noticed when we got here just before 10 o'clock were people walking out of the mall, getting into their cars, trying to leave. We immediately started talking to people. Most of the people we spoke with, both workers and customers, told me similar to what Amy heard. They heard what sounded like gunshots. Listen in.
Basically, I just heard like a lot of really loud pops, and then I saw the people that were on the second level running, and I saw the security guards like looking up there, and it looked serious, so I kind of yelled at all of the people in the store to like run into the back of the stock room.
My lead came running back and said, get in the back, active shooter, and I looked out and I could see people running, and so it was me and two other coworkers and two customers, and we were all in the back for a while.
First we thought someone had like dropped something really loud until we heard like 5 more what we seemed to have heard shots, and then we just saw a bunch of people running, and so we started running as well.
And again, as Amy mentioned earlier, a very scary, terrifying situation. Again, from our vantage point, there's not a huge police presence. A couple of officers, again, in the Macy's parking lot. Live in Raleigh tonight, Nick Sturdivant, CBS 17 News.
All right, Nick, thank you. CBS 17's Bridget Chapman also live at the police staging area tonight. And Bridget, have you seen the police chief, Cassandra Deck Brown, tonight?
No, Angela, we have not yet seen the police chief tonight or a lieutenant or watch commander or anyone who can speak with us in person and give us an update on this very scary situation for a lot of people out here. We are on the side of the mall near Glenwood Avenue. I do want to show you there's still a lot of police cars out here. The parking lot itself has pretty much been completely evacuated. We did see officers going up to different cars, shining a light in them, checking out the area. And what's interesting to mention, along with what Amy was saying about how an employee was talking about how it was such a busy shopping day, is there are also several restaurants in here. So I spoke with two people who work at P.F. Chang's, and they were telling me that it was so busy, they didn't actually hear the shots fired. All of a sudden, they were just told by a manager, do not leave, keep working. Actually, they just kept going on, not really understanding what was happening, and kept working through it. Did not hear the gunshots again, but are very thankful they were able to get out of here safely. But want to know what happened, as do everyone here. It is great to get the updates on social media that you have mentioned, but a lot of people are waiting to hear from the chief or anyone of the command level that can give us the updates out here in person tonight. I've checked with these officers, asked when that could be, have not gotten any answers so far, but of course, we're going to keep trying. Reporting live in Raleigh, Bridget Chapman, CBS 17 News.
The first steps of freedom. The courts released Ronnie Long in August after he spent more than 40 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Now Governor Cooper has given Long and 4 other men pardons. CBS 17's Nick Sturdivant digging deeper into what today's pardon means for Long and those other men.
It's the news not only Ronnie Long and his family and friends wanted to hear, but just as exciting for those like Muffin Hudson.
And I saw the text that he had the pardon. I was like, yes! Like, yes, I'm so excited. I mean, it's a small step, but it's a monumental step.
Who, with Decarcerate Now NC, have stood outside the governor's mansion for more than 40 days, demanding Governor Cooper use his pardon powers.
Being able to call him and tell him that the governor, the highest official in the state, is acknowledging his innocence and granting this pardon of innocence. I think he screamed and then ran and did a dance around the parking lot.
Jamie Lau heads up the Duke University Wrongful Convictions Clinic. He's been working on Long's case for about 5 years.
There was some screams of joy from his wife, and he was elated, of course. And he kept telling his wife, we get to move. He's looking forward to buying his first house.
What this means now for Ronnie and the 4 other men pardoned is that they are now eligible to file claims to receive compensation.
Because we know if he can do 5, he can do 5,000 more. He can do 10,000 more.
In North Carolina, a person who gets a pardon of innocence is eligible for $50,000 for each year they were in prison, with a max of $750,000 total from the state.
The immediate next step will be filing for that compensation, and we'll move that forward as quickly as possible.
That was Nick Sturdivant reporting. Nick and CBS 17's Russ Bowen have been following Ronnie Long's journey for more than a year. You can find all of those previous stories and interviews with Long using the CBS 17 News app and CBS17.com. Tonight, the FDA advisory panel gave its vote of confidence for Moderna's coronavirus vaccine. Now, this is the vaccine that NC native and Chapel Hill graduate Dr. Kizzy Corbett helped create. This is the second vaccine designed to fight the COVID-19 virus. According to Moderna, the vaccine is 94.1% effective against it. Moderna says 2 allergic reactions during its trials were not related to the shot, and that unlike Pfizer's, its vaccine would not require ultra-cold freezers for storage. Nearly 24 drug trafficking arrests involving students at 3 local colleges in North Carolina: App State, Duke, and UNC Chapel Hill. The huge operation involved more than $1.5 million worth of drugs, ranging from marijuana, cocaine, to pills. CBS 17's Bridget Chapman getting answers and found out this investigation spanned several years.
Just shock.
A shockwave's hitting UNC's campus after a major drug trafficking bust.
I was super shocked at the size of it and how much money it actually was.
Officials say they found drug trafficking taking place at UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, and App State in a multiple-year operation. It involved more than $1.5 million worth of drugs, everything from marijuana to cocaine to various pills.
That's insane. That's so much money. So many drugs.
The investigation dates back to 2017. It started with the Orange County Sheriff's Office learning of possible drug trafficking in the area, then identifying 3 fraternities buying and selling.
It unfolded unlike any other case I've seen in my 40 years in law enforcement.
Officials say over the years, the drug ring funneled more than 1,000 pounds of marijuana, several hundred kilograms of cocaine, and more. The sheriff says fraternity members would also be hazed with narcotics.
That's what motivated us to move forward quickly with this case, because it was a matter of people being placed in jeopardy.
21 people now face federal charges. Many of them are either current or former students at the universities. Authorities say they also arrested a supplier in California who would ship or drive drugs over.
We were all quite shocked at how brazen these young men were and women were that were moving these narcotics.
Saying he wants to protect the integrity of these universities while also sending a message.
The goal is for the college campuses to be impacted in a positive way.
And that was Bridget Chapman reporting. For the second time in just 2 weeks, a North Carolina law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty. Concord police officer Jason Shuping answered a call last night for an attempted carjacking. Now, when he arrived, investigators say Shuping and his partner Caleb Robinson were ambushed.
I hope that the public can imagine and appreciate the shock, the pain, and the suffering that this family is going through right now and will continue to for a very long time.
More officers arrived, and the suspected gunman, Jeremy Daniels, was shot and killed. Officer Shuping had been with the department for about 1.5 years. Officer Robinson is expected to be okay. Now, Mount Holly officer Tyler Herndon was laid to rest Tuesday after being killed during a call last Friday. Governor Cooper has ordered flags to be lowered to half staff in honor of Officer Shuping starting tomorrow morning. We are digging deeper into the number of shootings in Durham tonight. Police tell CBS 17 the city has surpassed 900 shootings so far in 2020. This is the highest number since the Durham Police Department started compiling this information in 2016. CBS 17 has been tracking the violent crime spike in Durham over the past few months, including several deadly shootings. One of the youngest victims, a 15-year-old boy.
It was never going to be a lot of rain tonight, but there it is. A few light showers moving into parts of Chatham and Moore County. I'll tell you how much longer this will stick around, and we'll talk about the better chance of rain coming this weekend. I'll update you on the timing of that and what's ahead for Christmas. It's on the 10-day, and I'll show you to you in less than 10 minutes.
And we are following the latest developments after shots fired tonight at Crabtree Valley Mall. This is a live picture from Macy's. You can see that crime scene tape is still up. Officers still on the scene. Now, since the start of our newscast, RPD confirming that no one was hurt. We'll have more on this breaking story coming up.